Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live. Game 160. Rangers managed to get a dub. Playing spoiler, at least to the Guardians in Cleveland. They win it by a score of 7-3. We're going to bring you all of the best post-game reaction that we can. We will definitely highlight some of the key moments in this one for you. Cody Freeman, hello. 3-hit night. Jack Leiter, 7 innings, 10 Ks. Okay. Where was that like a couple of weeks ago? I'm just saying. Where was that a couple of weeks ago? Maybe a week and a half ago. Jeez. Could have used a game like this down in Houston. Could have used it. Good to see you guys hanging out. Appreciate all y'all. We're going to get into a little bit of everything. We got to have some fun this weekend. And I know that we all want to see the Astros miss the playoffs. I totally get it. I would much rather, for just a weekend, become an Angels fan and just hope the Angels can knock out the Astros for us. I really do not want to watch 3 losing games in a row. Carnage, look, it is a meaningless win. I mean, let's be real. It is a meaningless win, but I surely don't want to watch 3 stinkers in a row. I'm glad we got one. I'll take it. And like I said on the show, really, the past couple of nights, I don't want to see guys mailing it in this last week. I want to see guys like Jack Leiter coming out, throwing a gem. And again, would have loved to have had that against Houston a week and a half ago, but I'm glad to see that there's some guys on this team that are not just simply mailing it in. It's great to see. Great to see. We will see how things turn out the rest of the weekend. We'll definitely be doing some scoreboard watching on the show tonight. We got the Astros up 2-0 currently in the top of the 4th inning. They've got a couple runners on. Kyle Hendricks, former Ranger. Kyle Hendricks on the bump for LA. Looks like the Astros are doing a little challenge right now. Look, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Angels to win a game against the Astros. I don't know if Green Arrow's hanging out, but my goodness, I'm not so sure the Angels are going to do the entire baseball world a solid. Sorry, Chris, and knock the Astros out here. There's still a shot. Although, I got to be real with you guys. One of my really good buddies that I coach with, he is an Astros fan, and he's kind of been saying a lot of the same things we've been saying. Let's cut the cord on this one. This team is not going to do anything special in the postseason. You got Astros fans that believe that. Chris, I know you probably don't, but I think there are a number of Astros fans that see the writing on the wall. I can't say, I mean, look, I know people are going to label me a hater, but I can't say I feel great about the Astros World Series prospects, even if they do find a way to sneak in. You never know. October is October for a reason. All it takes is one team getting white hot, and it can get really, really interesting really, really quickly. Thank you to everybody hanging out. I know I've said that a couple of times, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. Look, the Rangers clearly not getting it done this year, but we said from the beginning, and a big part of my brand has always been we show up. Win or loss, whenever it's tough, we're still here, and we take it on the chin, and we move on to the next game, to the next series, to the next season in this case. And you know what? Let's have some fun hanging out the next few days. All of y'all that have been on this journey with me since back in 2023, some of y'all I know caught on last year at the beginning of the season. Let's have some fun. You know, we don't get Rangers baseball again until spring training. Let's have some fun with it. I hope the boys can give us something to enjoy. Fox game tomorrow? I mean, look, I guess we're going on national TV tomorrow. We want to put the Rangers on Fox tomorrow? Okay. I mean, I get that this game has some playoff implications for Cleveland, but was not really a game I was expecting to be nationally broadcasted. But here we go. Yeah, look, I do not want the Stros making it either, but I surely don't want to watch 2 shutouts in a row. I just can't bring myself to it. Angels are hot garbage, though. I mean, they are. The Angels have never been able to do anything when we've needed them to. I think we needed them to beat the Mariners a while back. They failed epically at that. The Angels are just not a good squad. They're not. Absolutely not. Soldier, well said. Can Jack Leiter just pretend that he's facing the Guardians every single time? And look, Jack clearly finishes with a really good stat line, 386 ERA. Good for him. Good for him. I got to be honest. I think that, I wasn't completely wrong on Jack this year, but I think maybe I need to give him a little bit more credit. He has improved. And I know my running joke has been it's really not that difficult to improve from an 8+ ERA, which Jack Leiter had last year. But I will say I've got to eat a little bit of crow, a little bit, an appetizer-sized portion, I think, on Jack. He came out tonight, 7 innings pitched, 10 Ks, against a team that needs to win. The Guardians need to win right now. And Jack comes out and shuts them down. I mean, you got a quality start, 5 base runners all game. I think that's the most impressive part of this is Jack Leiter only allows 5 base runners. John, I'm 100% with you. It's great to see you as always, my friend. It's too little too late. That was one of the first things we said on the show, John, was where was this a week and a half ago, Jack Leiter? Where was this a week and a half ago? I don't know. Look, we'll take it. 386 ERA to end the year. He definitely makes a big improvement from last year. Personally, kind of like what John is hinting at here, I still am a little suspect on Lights myself. And in the big games, in the big moments, it was up and down this year. I think we can all agree on that. You didn't need Jack Leiter to be the ace this year, but next year I'm going to be looking for Jack to be more of that stopper, right? More of the guy. You see his name in the probable starter, and then you really have that confidence that he's going to be able to either keep the streak going or get you that win after you've lost a couple in a row. That, to me, is what I would love to see Jack become next year. I think this year he kind of got a bit of a pass. He's back end of the rotation. Right? He's still learning. He's only been up with the Rangers for just a little bit of time. Didn't even get a full season last year. I think next year should be the year that we totally stop the excuses. Totally stop them. Jack, I think, has got to continue to take positive strides. I think you'd love to see Jack finish low 3s next year for his ERA. And like I said, really be a guy that the Rangers can count on to swing momentum, whether it's continuing a streak, whether it's stopping a streak. That's what I want to see from Jack. Yeah, he goes, 10-10 on the year? Is that right? 10-10. 10-10. All right. Jack Leiter, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap on his season. Let's see if he can break that ERA in half one more time. He had an 8+ ERA last year. He brings it down about half. So half of 386. I don't know if he's going to be in the 190s next year, y'all. That would be impressive as all get out if Jack could have a sub-2 ERA. I don't think we're going to put those expectations on him. That sure would be nice. Sure would be nice. John, this is the goal. He's got to be a good third or fourth starter next year. It has to be. And I would really like for the excuses with Leiter to start coming to an end. I've been railing on this really all year long. I think that Jack Leiter has been a little bit babied by the media, babied a little bit by Rangers fans. I think this is a guy that's got to start just pitching without excuses. Yeah, but he's still young. Yeah, but he hasn't even had a couple of full seasons in MLB. Yeah, but he's better than he was last year. I just want to hear the excuses on Jack. Stop. Just be the number 2 overall pick that we drafted you to be. I think at some point you got to take those training wheels off of Jack and stop giving him that safety net at the bottom. All the excuses as to why he's not, I don't want to say an ace, but why he's not more of a frontline starter in this league. Rangers win. Absolutely. But yeah, Fox has been interesting. I will say that. I definitely hope that they do win on Fox tomorrow. But India, I'm with you. It does kind of feel like our record on Fox has been interesting. I would love to see them get a dub tomorrow on national TV, continue to play a little spoiler. But we shall see. Time will tell. By the way, Astros are now only up 3-1. I believe the Angels just homered, and it's a 3-1 game. Runner on first base in the bottom of the 4th inning. Maybe the Angels are going to make this game interesting. Angela, appreciate the follow, by the way. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, let's go through it. I'm going to continue to take comments and questions, by the way. So if you got something you want to talk about, something Rangers related you want to go through, please go ahead and chime in. But I'm going to tell you what I know. I'm going to tell you what's been on my mind. And feel free to interject. I'll definitely continue to check comments as I go. So let's talk about who is with the team right now, who's not. Let's start with who's not. You have Corey Seager sticking around, Arlington. Wife about to have a baby. Josh Smith, same thing. Marcus Semien, I believe his wife is expecting as well. Baby not due until the offseason. But look, obviously only one of those three guys actually can play at this point. So Josh Smith, looks like effectively his season going to be over. Josh, let's start talking about him. I like Josh Smith a lot. I definitely don't want to see the Rangers move on from him, but I just would like to see the Rangers stop relying on Josh Smith as a top of the lineup starter. I want to see Josh take on more of that utility man role. He hits from the left side. You've got a couple of guys in Cody Freeman and Ezekiel Duran that play from the right side. I really would like Josh to be a guy that plays 3 or 4 days a week, not 5 or 6. And I think that the Rangers will go out and try and acquire players through trade, through free agency to make that happen. I think that what the Rangers, like you and I'm sure, have figured out is, Josh has a hot start, and he is, I think, at this point in his career, a bit of a second half fader. I've given him that title before, and the evidence, the stats back it up. He has strong starts in March and April and even into May. You get him into the summer months, and he really starts fading a little bit, and I think that he would be better suited, a guy that maybe plays 80 to 100 games instead of a guy that plays 140 plus. So for Josh Smith, the year I don't think ended the way that anybody would have liked it to for him. You look at the numbers for Josh, and I really feel like the first half, outstanding, and I think everybody was, you remember, very gung-ho on him hitting leadoff, and then the second half hit, right? Josh Smith, by the way, final numbers on him. He's not even technically on the roster right now, I don't believe. He's not even listed on the Rangers lineup for today, obviously. But he finishes with a 251 average, a 701 OPS, 10 homers, 35 RBI, 12 stolen bases. To finish the season, his last 7 games, he had a .095 batting average, and looks like he was hitting a robust 374 OPS. Yeah, OPS, not OBP, a 374 OPS. He did not finish the season well. If we went through the splits, which we will right now for Josh, post All-Star game, he was a 208 hitter with a 592 OPS. Look, pre-All-Star game, he was hitting 277 with a 769 OPS. Josh definitely known as a first-half player, I think, at this point. I think you've got to come to that conclusion. So we've seen our last of Josh Smith this year. I do think he's back with Texas next year, barring some kind of trade. And I'd like to see him be more of a 3 or 4 times a week guy, not an everyday player. We keep going. We talked about the guys that aren't here. Good to see Evo and DeGrom with the team and cheering on Jack Leiter. That was kind of a cool moment. Jack Leiter strikes out the side in one of the early innings, and Evo, DeGrom there to show him some love. Love to see that. Let's go through the rest of the order today. Let's talk Cody Freeman. Yeah, John, 100%. Let's talk some Cody right now. Cody, 3 for 5 on the evening, 2 RBI, had a big RBI single, opposite field hit with the bases loaded. Love to see that. Cody, I think, is going to have an opportunity to make the roster next year. I don't see Cody being a starter next year. I think he might get a chance to compete a little bit at third base, but I don't see him being a starter next year. I think he's a guy that you want as depth. You want him as a spot starter here and there. I don't think Cody is going to be a starter for all 162. I'm not sure he's ready yet. I think he's shown, obviously, that he can have success in this league, and I think he has shown some promise, but it would really surprise me, in a good way, if he was a starter on the opening day roster in 2026. You let me know if you're thinking something different on that. I think he is a guy that you love to have, who can play multiple positions, who can sub in pretty much anywhere as needed. But I would really be surprised if he ends up being the everyday starter. Let's talk thoughts on Young. Okay, thoughts on Young. I've already kind of given my overall thoughts, and so my longtime listeners, like we said, we got a lot of new people coming into the show. We're going to have to hear a couple of points over again, so forgive me on that. But I want to make sure that everybody new coming in gets their questions answered. I think Josh Young has a lot of potential, and I think we saw that in 2023. All-Star game starter, a guy that can hit 20-plus homers, drive in a fair amount of runs. And I think you've seen the last couple of years, I mean, obviously in 2024, he was derailed by injury. This year, experienced some slumps, had to get sent down to AAA, was blasted publicly by Chris Young. I mean, Chris Young just does not do that very often. I think Josh Young is a big question mark going into 2026. It's not going to surprise me if Josh Young is potentially traded. It's not going to surprise me if Josh Young has to compete for his spot next year. I don't think, with just how the end of the season went for Josh, and tonight, by the way, Josh Young goes 1 for 5 with 3 Ks, 677 OPS on the year. I do not see Josh Young being a lockdown. He's definitely our third baseman, no matter what kind of guy. In fact, I think if you could make the right trade, get something back in return. Some people, I've seen it online. I don't think there's a lot of merit to it. I don't think there's a lot of legs to it right now, but I've seen Josh Young potentially thrown into a trade for Adley Rutschman. What do we think about that? I've seen Josh Young, the rumors, maybe he's a centerpiece in an Adley Rutschman trade, catcher from the Orioles, trying to get that bona fide everyday catcher. I do think the Rangers will be shopping him quietly. I think that right now, Josh Young, from everything that I gathered down the stretch, just feels like he is having an issue listening. Not really listening to the upper management, not really being super coachable with his swing. That was the vibe that Josh Young was giving off when he got sent down to the minors. I think that Josh Young has to dig himself out of the doghouse a little bit if he wants to continue to be the everyday third baseman for the Texas Rangers. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion he's back next year. Maybe Josh Young is one of those guys that Marcus Semien is talking about. Not hungry. Not hungry for a World Series championship. I don't know. Marcus Semien's vague comments only lead you to fill in the blanks as you will, but I can't imagine. I know that Josh Young gave the gifts to guys at the beginning of the season, but I don't know. Some of the reports coming out, how Josh Young handled his demotion, how Josh Young was coachable or lack thereof at different times when he was struggling with his swing. I really find it hard to believe that he is going to be written down as the everyday third baseman and permanent marker going into 2026. Dan, I don't think you're getting a haul back for Young. I've got to agree with my guy here. You're not getting much for Josh Young. I don't think you're getting nothing. I don't think you're getting a haul. I think you're getting probably somewhere in between if you can package him with other players. Thank you, Rangers, from an Astros fan. Let's see, though, what's going on in that Astros game. You guys got to take care of business here against the Angels. 3-1 right now. We'll see what happens. Thoughts on Leiter, Brendan? I mean, he's going to be around. He's going to be around. Hey, Eliseo, appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Nothing new. Glad we got a win. Glad we got a win tonight. I know some people are rooting for a sweep, so the Astros stay out of it. It's just hard for me, man. It's hard. Besides, even if they make it, we can just have fun when they flame out of the playoffs in the first round. It'll be great. It'll be great. Look, Gio, it hasn't been consistent enough hitting the fastball the other way. It's here and there. It's a flash in the pan here and there only, but I'm not convinced on Josh Young right now. Neither am I sold on him continuing to be an everyday player for Texas. I think a lot of people really like Josh Young, want to see it work out. for me, the last 2 years has been very below average. Blame the injuries if you want, but I would say if you can find the right opportunity to trade him, to move him to another organization, you do it. You can't have a corner infielder hitting below 700 for an OPS, man. You just can't. Look, very telling. The comment from Fred here, by the way, thank you so much for the comment, man. Appreciate you. The interesting thing that at least I found today, Jake Berger, I know ends up getting 3 at-bats tonight. It felt kind of weird that he didn't start. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but I just thought it was a little interesting. We're basically eliminated. We are eliminated. Not even basically. I don't even know why I said that. We're eliminated. Why are you still playing matchups? We're eliminated. Play the guys that are the future. Play them every day. Is Rowdy Tellez the future? I just did not understand why you are not playing Jake Berger. Did anybody else think that was weird? Okay, if this is the guy of the future and you're mathematically eliminated and have been for the past several days now, who cares if it's a lefty, righty, lefty matchup? Just play the guys that are going to be here. I don't think Rowdy Tellez is going to be here in 2026. I hate to burst any of y'all's bubbles that are really hoping Rowdy sticks around. I don't think Rowdy is a 2026 roster guy. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't think he's going to be around. Dan, I think you could be onto something. I think Berger, he might be a trade chip. He might be. I do not necessarily think it's a slam dunk that Jake Berger is back. I've said it on the show really every day since the Rangers got eliminated, and even before then. I think catcher, first base, third base, right field, DH need to be wide open next year. I don't think there's any reason to be married to any of the catchers, any of the first basemen, any of the third basemen, any of the right fielders, and even the DH, Jock Peterson. I don't think that you need to be married to any of those guys going into 2026. This would be an interesting situation. The comment on YouTube says, trade for Arenado. We don't want Tellez. I think a lot of people like Rowdy Tellez, but I will say I've been a big Arenado fan for a long time. It does feel like he's a little bit over the hill. I don't know how much, that you really want to give away for a Nolan Arenado. I think that he's a nice player, but I don't know if that's the difference maker that you're going to be giving up farm capital for. My theory of getting Pete Alonso if we trade Jake Berger is going to end up happening. Maybe. That'd be phenomenal. Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto. Hello. Oh, man, I haven't watched. I'm sure you're talking college football here. I haven't watched any college football today. I'll definitely get into it a little bit more tomorrow, although we're going to be out and about. Since the Rangers don't play till the evening, we'll be out and about a lot. I got a football game tomorrow. For those of y'all that are brand new on the show, I do a lot of coaching in my spare time, coach a middle school football team. So we're going to have a game pretty bright and early tomorrow, and then the family and I are going to go hang out, do some fall stuff, pumpkin patch, all that good stuff. So we're going to have a little bit of a family day tomorrow before the Rangers play on Fox later in the evening, and then we'll do our show. It'll be great. 3/4 of the team could be gone. Honestly, I think here's what you're looking at on the offensive side. Here's who I think they're going to keep. I think they will definitely be keeping Evan Carter, Wyatt Langford, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. I think a lot of those are obvious. I know some people are halfway in, halfway out on Evan Carter. I don't think they're giving up on Evan Carter. I do think from a bench perspective, you're going to see them keep Josh Smith. I do think they will also have Cody Freeman as a bench player. I think Cody makes the opening day roster. I don't think he's going to be a starter, but I could see him being a bench guy. Zeke Duran may have played himself into a bench role as well. I mean, I did kind of muse yesterday. Do you really want to keep all three of those guys, Zeke, Cody, and Josh, on the bench? Maybe, maybe not, but I could see all three of those guys being bench players. I do think you've got to go out and get some legit starters. I don't think Cody Freeman, as much as I love him, is ready to be a 155, 160 game starter in this league. Maybe. I mean, I don't mean to doubt him, but I just think he's young. I think he's still figuring it out, and I think that he might be better suited as a guy that can play in the late innings, as a guy that can play 3 to 4 games a week perhaps, but I don't know if he's a guy you want as your everyday starter. Beyond that, though, for pitchers, I'm not even going to get into pitchers right now. There's a lot of guys that are on expiring contracts. The pitching staff and the bullpen is going to be really, really interesting. But I would probably roll with those 7 guys. I think you roll with, I think Jock Peterson, also maybe 8 guys. I think Jock is going to be a part of that group as well. I don't see them bailing on Jock Peterson. I'm not telling you what I want. I'm telling you what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to roll with Wyatt, Carter, Jock, and then your 2 infielders, Seager and Simeon. There's 5. And then I think they will roll with Duran, with Smith, and with Freeman as 3 bench guys. And I think they'll look to fill out other stuff from there. I could definitely see Berger and Young being on the team next year. Don't get me wrong. But I do think that those are kind of the untouchables, if you will. And we'll see how they can fill in from there. Yeah, I don't know if Berger is going to stay either. Yeah, we are going to be on cloud 9. I think CY is trying to set us up to not be disappointed, saying that the payroll is going to get cut back a little bit. The Rangers still have a ton of money to spend in the offseason. Even if they cut back, they have $60 million essentially in dollars freed up from expiring contracts. They're not going to sit on all $60 million of the freed up money. So I really feel pretty confident that the Rangers are going to spend money. Are they going to replace every single dollar of salary? Probably not. But I still think that there is a good chance that they will upgrade the offense several different spots. Edwin Diaz is going to opt out. Look, I know as much as y'all really want to go get a closer, I am not a big fan of dropping triple digits on a closer. Like, if you want to go out and get a guy for a year or 2, sure. But the Hater contract, I don't want to be dropping anything like a Hater contract. Hey, one sec real quick. Okay, sorry. I was checking the notification if I froze a little bit on TikTok. Jacob Latz is going to be starting tomorrow. We were on a TBD, didn't know who was going to be the guy tomorrow. Jake Latz is going to be getting the start tomorrow on Fox. Good for him. Hope he shines in a national TV moment. That'd be great. I kind of do feel like the Rangers maybe don't go and get big name closer, but maybe they go get a guy that can throw upper 90s, that has a decent off-speed pitch, has a good out pitch. I feel like Rangers are probably going to go bargain again with the relief pitching. And look, it's worked out for them by and large. I do think not having a legit closer all year long hurt them. But let me throw this your way for everybody that continues to go back to the closer situation. And this is going to tie into something that that flatbed you just mentioned here about Bruce Bochy. I would submit to you that we just could not figure out the right guy at the right time. I think that Sean Armstrong would have been great as a closer a lot sooner. I think you could tell early on that Sean Armstrong was going to have a special season. I don't think the Rangers moved to Sean Armstrong quick enough. I think that they stuck with Robert Garcia too long, and that's a managing issue. I don't know if that's a CY issue. Man, the dude didn't go out and get a closer. I think it's a managing issue. The Rangers waited way too long to put Sean Armstrong in the closer role. And I think that had they made that move sooner, you probably would have seen more success, maybe some more wins from the Rangers. Imagine if you wouldn't have had to go through June and even into July with Robert Garcia completely melting down in big games that you could have won. I think it might have been a much different summer had you inserted Sean Armstrong more quickly into that ninth inning role. And so that leads me into the manager. I think Bruce Bochy is going to come back next year. There has definitely, I think, been conversations that way. And I think there were a couple of reports that I saw today that there are discussions about Boch coming back for next year. Kind of reading between the lines a little bit, feels like positive momentum towards that. I don't think Bruce wants to go out like this. I wouldn't either. I would at least want to go out fighting in the playoffs versus a complete meltdown the last 2 weeks of the season. We'll see what he ends up doing, but I'd imagine we're going to get a read on this pretty quickly. You know, you don't want to get in a situation where other teams are poaching your players and there's uncertainty with the are poaching your coaches and there's uncertainty with the manager as well. I think Bruce will make a decision quickly so the Rangers are able to move quickly. You don't want Skip Schumacher getting gobbled up if Bruce Bochy is going to ride off into the sunset. And you just hope that Bruce makes the right decision for himself. I have always said, I think Bruce Bochy is one of the best managers of all time. We're lucky to have him, and the grass is not always greener. We move on from Bruce Bochy, and a lot of Rangers fans would be very happy if that announcement, that notification comes across your phone. There'd be a lot of Rangers fans that'd be very happy. For me, I don't think the grass is always greener. Skip Schumacher, I think, is going to be a great manager. He already has won Manager of the Year with the Marlins. I think he would be a great manager for Texas, but still, you're talking about Bruce Bochy, a legend. I don't know that the grass is going to necessarily be a lot greener on the other side. He definitely is getting up there. Definitely is getting up there. And this is a good point, too. Nut 13, appreciate it, man. I don't remember Bruce. This is the comment. I don't remember Boch swinging at sliders in the dirt. Not this year. Maybe when he was a player back in the 70s or 80s, whatever he played. But it's something that I've said all year, honestly. This guy doesn't have the bat in his hand. Bruce Bochy does not have the bat in his hand. He's not toeing the rubber, trying to strike guys out. He's a guy in the dugout, and he definitely plays an important role. I think coaches are very important, but let's be real. Bruce Bochy is not the one in the batter's box. He's not the one who is failing at what he gets paid millions of dollars to do, hitting a baseball. Could we get Aroldis Chapman back? I don't think so. Richard, DeGrom and Evo definitely going to be back. This is a pipe dream, Dan. This is something out of a fantasy draft when you're playing MLB The Show and you get the fantasy draft mode. I don't think that's going to be happening at all, man. I think we might be lucky to get a couple of those players, but it's fun to dream. Who don't you want back? Who don't you want back? Who are you talking about? Aroldis? Yeah, I'm not too keen on Aroldis either, my friend. I got to say, I think that the ship has sailed on him. He's had a great year in Boston, but no, I'm not eager to bring Aroldis back, and the contract is going to be very, very high priced. What can we get for Adolis? I think flatbed, we might be able to get cash considerations and a low-level prospect. I really don't see us getting crazy prospects back in return for Adolis Garcia. I think he would have had to have had a much better year this year, and then maybe we're having a different conversation altogether. But yeah, I don't think we are getting big time anything back for Adolis. He did not have a great year this year. He didn't have a great 2024. I think we'd be lucky to get cash considerations and a low-level prospect. Hate to say it. I don't mean to, say that disrespectfully or like I'm trolling Adolis. I just think you really need to keep your expectations low. I don't think we're getting anything special for Adolis. I'd love to be wrong on that, by the way. Would love to be wrong. All right, let's see what we got. Crazy how a guy has one bad year and people turn on him. I got to disagree a little bit there. Jeremy, appreciate it, man. Adolis is, I think, coming off 2 bad years. I don't think 2024 was a good year. I know some people point to the RBI. I don't think a lot of people that watched every game last year in 2024 would say Adolis had an outstanding year or even an above-average year. Maybe you could say Adolis in 2024 had a meh year. It definitely wasn't a good year. It definitely wasn't an above-average year. So what I really think, Jeremy, is you're talking about 2 years in a row. You're not talking about one bad year for Adolis. I think you're talking about a couple. And look, we can agree to disagree. I would not say Adolis had a great 2024. Do I think the Little Rascals will stay with the Texas Rangers 2026? I think that Mike Hellman is probably not a factor in 2026. I think he will maybe find another team. I don't know what the Rangers will do with that completely, but I cannot see Mike Hellman eating up a roster spot. I would be very, very surprised. I think the Rangers are going to look to improve elsewhere. Look, Hellman 1 for 4 today. He's going to finish, maybe in the mid 700s with his OPS. He clearly had a heater run in that 16-4 stretch that we had, but I would really be shocked if Hellman came back. I do think Cody Freeman makes the roster as a bench player. That would be my best guess. I don't think Cody Freeman's going to be a starter. We'll see. Keep going here. Only thing great about Adolis that he had was defense. Offense was a different story. Yeah, the defense was always really good with Adolis. CY needs to spend that cash, go make some noise. I hope so. How many years do you give Kumar to become an everyday pitcher for us? I think Kumar is kind of a year behind Jack Leiter. So I think next year has to be the year Kumar at least takes a positive step forward. He's definitely not going to be held to the standard of an ace, but I think next year you'd love to see Kumar take that step forward like Jack did this year. Doesn't have to be like a huge step. I think 2 years from now, you're going to really hope he can be a solid number 3 or number 4 guy for you. So think about it, in 2027, Nate Eovaldi, Jake DeGrom, those guys are going to be that much older. You're going to need guys like Kumar Rocker to step up. You're going to need guys like Jack Leiter to really take their game to the next level. 14 homers is not good for a third baseman. I got to agree. Gio says I'd give Josh Young one more chance with a healthy lineup. Natalie says that she agrees. Yeah, I think what you got to do this offseason is just decide, is Josh going to bounce back or not? And I do think that with Josh Young, the issues do go beyond how he plays on the field. I think that there are some off the field stuff with Josh, being coachable, listening when you're struggling. I think that there might be some hard feelings there, honestly, between the club and Josh Young. I think they butted heads a little bit. I don't think CY would have publicly blasted Josh Young like he did if there wasn't some behind-the-scenes stuff going on. I really wonder what is going to happen with Josh. I am not by any means writing his name in permanent marker next to third base next year. I think he's got to compete and he's got to earn it. And I think maybe you do give Cody Freeman an opportunity to beat him out. I think you do give him an opportunity there. I don't think that Cody Freeman is going to be an everyday starter next year, but I think you give Cody Freeman a shot to compete with Josh Young and you see what you could potentially bring in. You see what you could potentially get for Josh Young in a trade. You see what's out there. We'll see how it goes, but I'm definitely not willing to lock down Josh Young as my third baseman. He's had some big hits, Gio. I think we could do that for a number of players. He's had some big hits. He's also had some really bad games and really bad ABs in big spots. Keep going. What do we do with Higgy? I think Higgy's going to be around next year. I'd just like to see Higgy be more of a, play a third of the games instead of play half. I don't think that Higgy needs to be an every other day guy, a catcher. I think you want to see Higgy maybe catch here and there, DH a little bit as well. I don't think you want Higgy as an every other day guy, a catcher. I think you want to go find a guy that can primarily catch most of the games, can be a good, steady offensive player in the lineup as well. I don't want to roll like we did with the catchers this year. Heim, Higgy, Heim 2 games, Higgy 2 games. I don't want to do that again. Go get a catcher that's going to start 130 games for you. Higgy can go ahead and back up the other 30 or 35 or whatever it is. Maybe can fit in at DH here and there. I do not want to see Higgy be an every other day guy again. I really don't. Dan, let's see. I'd say, hey, bro, I know you want to be here, but you haven't shown up when it matters. You need to decide if you want to stay or not. I don't know if they're even going to leave it up to him, Dan. They might. It might be as simple as a conversation, but I wonder if there is some hard feelings behind closed doors. I wonder if there's some hard feelings there. Maybe not. Maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, as they say, but I just kind of wonder. The public blasting from CY, he doesn't do that with a lot of players. It's just interesting to me. Keep going. Who should we get? I'd love to get Real Muto. I'd love to get Schwarber. Mariners, Phillies, World Series. Alex, my prediction was Phillies, Yankees, repeat of 09. Yeah, CY came out and he did publicly criticize Josh Young pretty good and basically alluded to in so many words like he's just not listening. Right? He's not taking what the Rangers are trying to help him with and using it. It's kind of going his own way. Don't think he really was on board with the demotion. I mean, I get it. Not a lot of guys are going to be good getting demoted to AAA, but I don't think he really went down to AAA and did what the Rangers wanted him to do. If you remember, he did have a few home runs down in AAA. He wasn't killing it down at AAA. Like he was hitting like, I want to say 200 or slightly under it. He was not tearing the cover off the baseball. He had a few big hits here and there, but I don't think the Rangers loved his stint down at AAA, but they had to bring him up because of injury. I think that the Rangers, if they could find a way to move on and go get somebody else truly that was going to be an upgrade over Young, I think they would. Jock, I think, is going to get kept for now. I think he is going to get kept for now. We keep going here. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. Why did we not do anything major at the deadline? Look, we did. We got Merrill Kelly. That was a pretty major move. Traded 3 top 15 prospects to get him. Now, if you're talking about offense, I understand a little bit. I don't know if one offensive player was helping this team in hindsight. I really don't. I think in hindsight, you can say one player probably was not getting it done. I think the Rangers needed like 2 or 3 players. It is hurtful that the Rangers lose Cole Drake, Mitch Bratt, David Hageman, 3 guys that were up and coming, promising in the farm system, and now they're playing for the Diamondbacks, and you really have nothing to show for it. Yeah, Flatbed, definitely I get you offensively. I want to just repeat what I said. I think the Rangers were probably more than one player away from being a good offense, and that's unfortunate. I hate to say that out loud, but looking back, I really do feel like it was probably a good move that we didn't spend even more farm capital trying to improve the offense. Dake, sorry I missed this. I know you commented this earlier, man. Thanks for being patient and reposting. Would I consider signing Jack to a team-friendly extension? Well, I think Jack is still controllable for a little while yet. I don't think Jack is in his ARB years yet, is he? Is it ARB 1 next year for Jack? Let's check it out. We'll see. I don't know if it's ARB 1 for him or not, but I'll see on Spotrac here. That to me is going to make a big difference. Jack Leiter contract. Let's check it out real quick. ARB 1, yeah, he's pre-ARB for 2 more years. I mean, look, typically, Dake, you don't really want to offer guys extensions before arbitration. You want to pay them league minimum as long as you possibly can. So, Dake, no, I don't think they are going to try any kind of extension with Jack until he maybe hits ARB 1, which looks like it's not going to be till 2028. So I think you continue to pay Jack Leiter league minimum. Maybe when he gets to ARB 1, you think about giving him an extension then if you like what you're seeing. But I don't think at this point you want to throw out any kind of extension. You want to keep paying him, $700,000-$800,000 a year and keeping the payroll low for everybody else. No reason to start paying Jack tens of millions of dollars when you could be paying him 7 or 8. And just the way baseball works, it's not really anything for Jack to get butt hurt over. It's the way the business goes. Now, when he hits arbitration, ARB 1, ARB 2, ARB 3, that's when you can start playing around a little bit with an extension. And Natalie, I do think that it's the same reason. I do think you're connecting the dots well here. You don't want to pay Wyatt Langford tens of millions of dollars when you could be paying him 7 or 8. And again, this isn't something that is, causing players any angst. I think all the players know you're going to get league minimum for a few years, man. That's how it goes. I don't think any player is saying to themselves, man, the Rangers, they didn't extend me after 2 years of service time. I'm not re-signing with them. I don't think any player is doing that. I think everybody understands how this works. Wyatt Langford goes into ARB 1 in 2027. So he has next year pre-ARB. You get 1 more year, and then you go to ARB 1 with Langford in 2027. I think it might be possible in the offseason next year. Granted, there's a lockout coming, so that makes things even dicier. I think once Wyatt gets to ARB 1 in 27, you might start seeing some of the contract extension talks start. ARB 1 typically is pretty affordable for clubs. You're not going to see Wyatt Langford make bank in ARB 1. But as they get into ARB2, ARB3, especially if Wyatt Langford really pops as a player, you're going to start seeing the Rangers think about an extension. If you're going to have to pay him a lot in arbitration anyways, it's at that point you say to yourself, maybe we ought to lock this guy up a little bit more long-term here. Langford definitely has to cut down on the strikeouts a little bit. I agree. Would love to see him continue to take more walks. That would be huge. Hey, Dave, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the comments. Look, I've told y'all this already, and I want to say it again. It's definitely not the most fun time to be a Rangers fan right now, but I appreciate all you guys showing up, wanting to talk ball, because I'm going to be here. Saturday, tomorrow we'll be here. Sunday, we're going to be doing a double show. Rangers in the afternoon, Cowboys in the evening. So hope to see you a lot this weekend. Tomorrow should be fun. Fox broadcast. We'll finish out the 8th and the 9th inning with you guys tomorrow. That'll be great. Hopefully the Rangers can keep playing spoiler, and you'd love to see the Angels really make things interesting for the Astros. It's 3-2 right now, by the way. Angels have creeped back within one run of the Stros. You'd love to see the Angels KO them. And then the Rangers can just have fun this weekend, man. I would love to see that. Win Sebi coming up to the show. Michigan Rangers, by the way, great to see you. And thank you so much for the comment. I think at this point, I would say I'd be surprised if Walcott was up before August or September of next year. I think the end of 2025 or 2026, I'm sorry, you might see him. So like a year from now, I think he might be in the show. I would be shocked if he was on the opening day roster or a guy that you add in May or June. I think he's going to be a guy that you might call up at the end of 2026, but I think he will be a much bigger factor after the lockout. And I know I'm saying lockout. I think there's going to be one when the CBA expires after 2026, unfortunately for baseball fans. Unfortunately for me, man, this is a business for me. I surely don't want to see a lockout, but I think it is going to happen. And I'm almost wondering if 2027 is more going to be Sebastian Walcott's timeline. Is 2027 the year he really gets a chance to make the opening day roster, maybe start? I don't think he had a good enough year this year in AA to really warrant any kind of call-up for the beginning of 2026. But who knows? If he has a great AA year, the Rangers could easily call him up middle of the season. I think it's all contextual. If he continues to struggle a little bit, you're probably going to see him stay down longer. If he kills it in AA his second year, just like guys like Mike Trout did when they were at AA, there's a number of other guys I could list off as well. You might see him sooner. We'll see. Appreciate the comment again. What are my thoughts on the new strike zone for 26? I don't understand the rule as much. You're talking about the challenge system. I don't love that it's only 2 challenges a game. It is nice that you get to keep them as long as you're not wrong, but I would love to see 2 challenges per inning. I'd love to see 2 challenges per inning. I don't really care or am worried about the game getting slowed down. I'd rather calls get right and the game be a little slower. I wish it was 2 challenges per inning, seriously. Keep on going here. Do I think we should try to get Alex Bregman if he's available, Cowboy fan? I mean, I know he's the enemy playing for the Astros, but shoot, I, at this point, would really love to see that happen. That's the upgrade at third base. I know Bregman has had his clashes with the Rangers in the past, but like, I would definitely welcome that kind of caliber third baseman on the club. What does lockout mean? Basically, the owners and the players have an agreement, a working agreement, different rules, different policies, different laws, if you will, when it comes to contracts, when it comes to salaries, when it comes to the schedule, how much players are expected to be around the teams, how little, all that good stuff. And that agreement expires at the end of the 2026 season. And so if those two sides, the owners and the players, do not come to a new working agreement, usually a lockout happens where the players don't play, the owners lock them out of the facility, and you don't get baseball on time. So I hope that can be avoided, but it sounds like that's going to be happening. JJ, yes, sir. Jack Leiter was incredible. He was. India, I've taught a little bit of everything. Really, it changes a lot from year to year, but pretty much middle school. And I've coached middle school for a long time too. So it's a little bit of everything, man. Seriously. It's always changing, but mostly middle school. I've done high school here and there as well, but it's a little bit of everything. Appreciate the comment, man. Sorry if I missed it a couple of times. MLB batters get to be more patient in the strike zone because they get to challenge bad strike calls. Could affect the rhythm of pitchers that need bad calls from the umpires. It might. It might. And look, we talked about like you are going to see catchers that were really valued for framing become less valuable. And we've got one of them on our roster. Kyle Higashioka, known as an above average framer, that becomes less important when you have ABS. Do I think Seager moves to first base soon, like a Harper situation? Do they move Garcia in the offseason? I don't think they move Seager next year. Could I possibly see it in 27? I'll say yes, but I think Seager probably plays shortstop for a couple more years. Do I think they move Garcia? Yes. I would be shocked if they have Garcia in the starting lineup in 2026. Adolis Garcia, I think, is either going to get traded or non-tendered. I think probably traded is more likely. I think they're going to try and get something out of him. If they can't, I don't think they're going to run it back. I think they'll non-tender him if they cannot find a trade partner. Cole, it wouldn't be a show without a Cal Raleigh comp, man. What did Cal do tonight, by the way? Still 3-2, Astros Angels. What did Cal do tonight? Did he hit another one? Mariners are playing the Dodgers right now. Let's go to the game day here and let's check this out. Cal on the night is 1 for 3. Okay. 1 for 3 with a single. All right, no homers. Stuck on 60 right now. Man, I'm sure that if I do get, if he does hit one, the notifications are going to be crazy. So, yeah, no homer from Cal Raleigh yet. Big dumper, baby. Cole, appreciate the roses, man. Thanks so much. Sean, I'm a head coach, and I've done offense and defense. I'm probably a little bit more involved offensively, working with my offensive coordinator, but I've done a little bit of everything. I was a defensive coordinator for a while. I really enjoy, just about every aspect of the game. Baseball is probably the first love. Football is right behind it, literally right behind it. It's hard for me to decide sometimes, but baseball probably first love, but I love football, love getting to coach, love the age I coach. Still fundamentals, just such a big emphasis. A lot of the boys still moldable, still learning. High school's fun too, and I love the talent jump when you get to high school football and high school baseball at that as well. But it's a little harder to mold when you get the high school guys. And I love the high school guys that I've coached, so I don't want you to take that as a negative at all. But sometimes it's a little harder with the high school guys. They've already kind of got their idea of what they want to do, and you can still get through to them, but it's a little bit harder. It takes a little bit more. But I really do enjoy coaching. It's one of my life passions, football, baseball, and I love getting to do this too. It's great. I hope Cal wins MVP. I don't think that it is going to happen for Cal. I would love, I don't know if I would even say I think that Cal is a better story than Judge, but I just don't think after looking at all the advanced stats, looking at everything, the whole picture, I'm not sure he's going to win it. I'm just not sure he's going to win it. Aaron Judge, if you ever go to Aaron Judge's Baseball Savant, it is wild how many hundreds you see up and down his Baseball Savant page. 100th percentile, 100th percentile, 100th percentile. He has like 7 or 8 100th percentile categories on Baseball Savant. We're talking about Aaron Judge right now. I think Aaron Judge probably wins MVP again. I do think that possibly you see something like, a few guys go Cal Raleigh's direction. I don't know. Razor wire, what's good, man? No, I don't know, man. It's probably just the weird lighting. I don't know. I've got a ton of different lighting setups. I'm in my garage, bro. Sometimes I think it's just darker, but nah, dude. Nothing different. Nothing different there, buddy. Yeah, it's weird, y'all. And in one day, like I always say, you'll know I made it when the setup is like totally different and classy. I mean, look, I like my setup as it is right now, but it's a humble beginning out in the garage in Las Vegas, baby. Hey, Razor Wire, good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. What a season for him. 60 home runs, 100%. It's insane. It is insane. I think it's a great story, and I think there's a lot more hype around Cal right now. I think some of the writers are going to get a little uppity and, the advanced stats. They favor Aaron Judge. And I just think you're going to see some people almost to be oppositionist, just to go against the grain. Not that they have a bad argument, but I just think people are going to go Aaron Judge. I think some people will vote Cal Raleigh, but I think Judge will win it. Good game tonight for sure. Langford, Hellman, and Carter with Ozuna platooning. I think they're going to go after somebody. I think they're definitely going to go after an outfielder that they can add. I don't think that they're going to call it good. Yeah, we got Hellman. We got Ozuna. I actually wonder if Hellman is going to be on the roster next year. I don't know how well they like Hellman's long-term prospects, but I think Ozuna could definitely have potential. I don't know if Osuna's ready to be an everyday player either. I love Ozuna and Freeman. I really do. I just don't know if those are everyday guys yet. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think Cal's going to break the home run record against the Dodgers. It'd be fun if he did. I'd love for him to get to 63. You almost feel like he's got to hit one today or tomorrow to have a shot. I mean, I just don't think you can leave it up to Sunday. You got to hit one tonight or tomorrow to have a chance. I mean, that's not rocket science, by the way. Totally understand that. But it'd be fun if he hit one tonight in front of the home fans. Yeah, TLC, I think it's really close. And it's not an argument. And not that I'm saying you're arguing here, brother, so don't take it the wrong way at all. But it's not like an argument that, I'm going to die on the Aaron Judge Hill MVP. I'm not super passionate about the debate. But if you're just asking me what I think is going to happen, I think it's probably going to end up being Aaron Judge winning it, Cal coming up just a little bit short. Do I wear my Rangers gear anywhere I go when I leave? A lot of the times I do. Like, Cowboy fans, seriously, like, it depends on what's going on. But, like, if I finish a live in the afternoon, I just keep wearing the Rangers shirt and the Rangers hat. Like, tonight, after the show tonight, I'll probably chill out. Maybe go get a shower, change of clothes. But no, I'll totally wear my Rangers gear wherever. Gotta rep it, man. Whose heart do I want to break, Guardians or Astros? Both, please. Like, I'd love if the Angels could win a couple of games and we could go ahead and knock out the Guardians as well. I'd love to play spoiler. I would love for that to happen. And Ball Knower, I actually kind of thought that this would happen too, just because nothing this season makes sense. Do you guys agree? Nothing this season has made sense. When you think that the Rangers are going to win a game, they badly lose it. When you're like, hey, the momentum is going in our direction. We've won 7 or 8 in a row. Whatever. We've won 3 or 4 in a row. We've got DeGrom on the mound. We're going to win. It's like the opposite happens. So I kind of had a feeling, just because this has been the weirdest season ever, the Rangers probably are going to go into Cleveland and win some games. Look, maybe they totally lay a couple of eggs Saturday, Sunday, but baseball is a weird game. It is a really weird game. It truly is. Keep going. Flatbed, appreciate the comment, man. That would be fun. For right now, I love getting to do what I do, and I don't want to sound like a control freak, but doing it alone sometimes I think has its benefits. Less coordination, and I get to control it a little bit more with you guys, your voice. I love the fan comments. I love your guys' views on things, and, you start getting other people involved. I get on, radio or something like that, and now all of a sudden I'm having to deal with a lot more restrictions. So we'll see. I mean, look, I'm not saying if the opportunity came along, I'd turn it down, but that would be a lot of fun. The dream is one day to get to do this for a living. I'd love to be a guy that travels with the team. Maybe not necessarily like a beat writer or anything like that. I do like to write. Fun fact, I'm actually an English major. So I love to write, but I don't know that I want to be columnist guy. I'd much rather prefer to hang out with you guys like this, the in person, or at least this kind of interaction, I guess. It's more up my alley, but we'll see what happens. Look, I'm not putting any limits on it, but I really appreciate the kind words, brother. Tigers are definitely letting people down right now. That is for sure. Phew. Hey, Eliseo, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are too kind. Look, I know that we definitely get our fair share of things wrong, the takes, the opinions. You can't always be right, although I like to joke. I think Right on Rangers has a pretty good batting average of takes. I'd love to go back and maybe at the end of the year, I actually like to do this sometimes, go through my videos and tally up which takes were right, which takes were wrong. It's kind of fun. Look, either way, whether you're right or wrong, the fun part is being a fan and getting to go back and forth with people, even fans of other teams. It's what I love. It's a part of the fan experience, and you guys are a big part of the reason why this show has gotten crazy big over the course of this season. I forget what we were at before the start of the season on TikTok. I want to say we were at like maybe 5,000, and we gained, I think, 5,000 subscribers over the course of 2025 season in 6 months. You guys helped me do some numbers. I got to thank you, and I really just continue to tell you how grateful I am for all the ways you supported the show. It's been huge. Dodgers don't have anything to play for other than setting up their rotation and bat in order for the postseason. Yeah, I think you have definitely a point there. We'll see what happens in that series. I just hope Cal makes it a little interesting. Like, it'd be fun to see him hit a couple, maybe tie Judge, and then on Sunday have a shot for 63. Man, that would be a blast. Be a blast, man. Pat and Ferris, I might go to spring training next year and take a long Amtrak trip. Oh, a train ride, man. Oh, my guy. Look, train rides, I haven't done a train ride like that in a long time. I've done a couple of train rides in my life. I've done probably like 3-4 hours as my max, but I'm down for a train ride, man. That's fun. Spring training is a good time. I've been a couple of times, and I usually try and go every other year. Now that I've been doing Right on Rangers, I try to go every year. I didn't make it this year. I don't know what we had going on, or if like my little ones got sick or something, but it just didn't work out this year for whatever reason. But normally I love to go down to spring training. And I've always said, if I ever go, I'll let you guys know. Would love to meet up with some of y'all. Same thing for a Rangers game in Arlington. If I ever make it, I'll definitely hit you guys up, let you know where I'm sitting. Would love for you to come by, say hello. So that will definitely be something I do. I don't make it back to Arlington a ton, maybe a couple of times here and there over a 5-year period, but definitely make it to spring training a lot more. Arizona's a great place. Which take am I proud to say I told you so? I definitely want to say at the beginning of the year, I put out a pretty big video on the Rangers needing offense. They needed offense. We could all see it at the beginning of the year. And I think that for me, just the fact that going into this year, yes, he went out and got Jock Peterson, but early on, you could just tell that the Rangers needed something. And to watch the club kind of sit on their hands and not go out and get a bat at any point, right? We're not just talking at the deadline. You could have traded for somebody in June. You could have traded for somebody in early July. I think that is the take that I'm probably up there among the most proud of. Is I've said all along, the guys that we had were not enough this year. And I didn't mean that in a disrespectful or trolling way to any of the players, but I have been on the side of get more offense, man. You cannot waste this pitching staff. I said that so many times, and I'm not saying that it was a pick or a take that nobody else had. I definitely think that a lot of other people were saying this too, but I remember making that video early on this year. And it just is unfortunate that the Rangers never listened. They didn't listen. Unfortunately, we're not running the front office. Would love to have the opportunity. That'd be a lot of fun. Man, that would be a blast. But that's probably one of them. I'd have to think about other ones. I would have to think about some other ones for sure. Look, it's all kind of blurring together, and on the live, on the fly, I'm probably not going to come up with something good. But you've given me a good homework assignment, man. I'm going to check that out and see which ones, if there's other ones that I'm more proud of. I hope CY makes some good offseason moves like free agents and trades. I sure hope so too. I would love to get inaugural tickets in Las Vegas. That'd be a lot of fun. Look, we probably are too busy to get like season tickets, but anytime the Rangers come, I've already let the missus know we're going to be going to multiple games. Like, I'm sorry, we are going to multiple games. We are going to be going to an entire series. And I'm going to try and get press, media pass access to some of those games so I can get down on the field, maybe be a part of some of the interviews for the players. I do want to do something like that. I don't, like I said, really want to be, in the beat writer mix per se, but I'd love to get down, mingle with some of the players and coaches, get to be on the field, seeing guys and how they operate. That would be a lot of fun. We'll see if it happens, but that is definitely a goal for me in the show. Sometime next year, I want to get a media pass, get to experience that on a small scale, and we'll see where it goes from there, but that's definitely a goal for Ride On Rangers in 2026. Call me crazy. I have hope for Jock. I think that Jock could be a good bounce-back candidate next year. I don't know if it's going to happen, and I don't love relying on hope. And I sure hope Jock Peterson figures it out. I sure hope that Evan Carter stays healthy. I don't love relying on hope going into a season, but I do think with what Jock Peterson is getting paid, you're going to have to hope for stuff like that. Carter, Simi, Seager, Arenado, Tucker, Langford, Jock, Real Muto, Berger. Yes, I would love it. I just don't know if they pull it off, Dan. I think I could definitely see Carter being a guy they try to lead off next year. I think Jock will probably still be a little bit higher. Jock, I don't know if it's going to be a weight thing, though, TLC. I don't know if they're even concerned about the weight. I know the weight has been kind of something that fans have brought up with Jock. I don't really even know if the weight is something the team is really even worried about. Evan got he got hit by a pitch and broke a wrist. I think that is what happened, right? Finger, wrist, I don't know. Duck, they surely did, man. Jordan, new era. That's where I got the hat. Love this hat. As an Astros fan, go Rangers. You're welcome. Great one. You're welcome. Although y'all got to take care of business against the Angels here. It's 3-2 in the bottom of the seventh. 3-2, bottom seven. Lats, by the way, going tomorrow. We talked, I think, enough about the game tonight. I know we went a little bit all over the place. But look, Jock Peterson, DH, can I just say this? And leading off, right? Jock was leading off. I wish they would have gone to Jock leading off a little bit sooner. Jock Peterson led off for a long time with the Dodgers back in the mid-2010s. You might remember that. You might not. So when, like, the DLLS guys were talking about who else do you have besides Josh Smith leading off, I actually really like the Jock Peterson leading off move. I think he's got experience doing it. It's not perfect. I'm not saying it's amazing, but I definitely think that they should have done something sooner with the leadoff hitter. I think they ran Josh Smith out there way too long as the leadoff guy. I actually kind of like this Peterson Freeman. I like this 1-2 punch up front. I think it's going to be different next year, obviously, but Jock had a couple of hits. Cody Freeman, 3 hits. Josh Young, 1 for 5. Rowdy Tellez, 1 for 2. Jake Berger, 1 for 3. Both Tellez and Berger had a couple RBI. Osuna with a big home run. Good to see him. lighting it up, man. I love Alejandro Osuna. I'm not sure if he's going to be an everyday guy, but I really do love watching him play the game. I love the swag. I love his plate presence. I think he has got a good eye up at the plate. We need more hitters like Alejandro Osuna that work counts, potentially work walks, but just make the pitchers work. We need more of that. We really, really do. But that 3-run bomb, great way to just get the party started tonight. Good for Alejandro. We continue on. We'll see if he comes through, Dan. We'll see if he does. And TLC, I'm not disagreeing. I think he definitely could stand to get in a little bit better shape. Look, baseball is one of those weird sports where you don't have to be a specimen to be really good at the game. There's a number of guys that you could point to, but I think it would probably create some goodwill. Keep going. Your Rangers were brutal on my Guardians tonight. I'm sorry, my guy. Look, baseball is a weird game. You think the Rangers are going to get doormatted by the Guardians, and then they come on out and win 7-3. Jamie, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging. Appreciate you, brother. Good to see you. Cowboys better run the ball Sunday or it's going to be a long day. Cowboys video coming out tomorrow, by the way. I got a Cowboys video on deck. I think you're going to enjoy it. By the way, I will definitely rail on Cowboy stuff when possible, when there's stuff that needs to be discussed, talked about, criticized. But I'll say this, and you guys know this from my Rangers content, I'm definitely not drinking the haterade every day, and there's a lot of hate when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. I will totally be upfront. I try and be the optimist. I try and be the optimist Cowboys fan, not the unrealistic, like, you know what, they're going to win the Super Bowl every single year. It doesn't matter. I'm not that kind of Cowboys fan, but I definitely try to be the kind of Cowboys fan that injects some positivity into the situation. Because Lord knows there's a lot of negativity at times surrounding the Cowboys, especially from the fan base. So Cowboys video out tomorrow. We're going to talk about how they can pull off the improbable, how they can beat the Packers on Sunday Night Football. We'll lay out 5 reasons why they can get it done. It's not going to be easy, but they've got a shot. Football's a crazy game. That's why they say any given Sunday, baby. Any given Sunday. Tomorrow should be fun too. College football. No Longhorns tomorrow, but there's a couple of big games on. We will not be live for college football tomorrow at all, just for the Rangers in the 8th, 9th inning of the Fox broadcast. Jamie, appreciate the gifts, by the way, man. Thank you so much for the generosity. D-backs insane push comes to an end. Yep. Rangers too, man. Rangers too. All right. Let me see. Anything else from tonight? Heim 1 for 4, McKinney 1 for 4, Hellman 1 for 4. Armstrong came in through a scoreless inning, 2.34 ERA on the year. Sean Armstrong, so good. Like I said, the Rangers would have been wise to put him in the closer spot a lot sooner. Phil Maton gives up a run. He's at a 2.79 ERA now on the year. We'll see what happens. I think Cal 44 is definitely going to be the fan favorite for MVP, but I just think Judge is going to pull it out. I think a lot of people are going to end up voting Aaron Judge in. I really do. I'm curious to see what happens. I am, but I just wonder if he's going to end up being the guy. Angels, by the way, have a runner on second base right now. Tomorrow, Jake Latz pitches. Look, if I'm just being real, I know we normally do a preview. I don't think I'm going to spend the time to do one tonight. Jake Latz on the bump. Guardians, looks like they have Cantillo, I think I'm getting that right, 5-3 with a 3.21 ERA. Let me give you a couple notables here if there's anything that we've seen. No Ranger has faced Cantillo before, and Jake Latz has not been posted yet on MLB.com as the starter, so no data for him against the Guardians. I think he has pitched against them in his career. If I remember right, it wasn't too bad of a performance. So I think Jake Latz comes out and gives us a good outing. He's pitching for a rotation spot next year. He is. He's pitching for a rotation spot. Jake Latz could be a very solid 5th starter, maybe 4th starter. I think that is a strong possibility. I'm excited for it. All right. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. 44 catcher, definitely one of the hardest positions. I played catcher for a while, like in late elementary school, early middle school, and then I pretty much did outfield and pitcher from there. It's definitely one of the hardest. Yeah, Lats has been great, Dan. He's been outstanding. All right, y'all. Let's see. We still have bottom of the 7th, runner on second, 2 outs. I was hopeful that on the live, the Angels might make it a tie game here. We got Chris Taylor up. Hey, it's 3-3. There we go. Angels tie the game. We're going to end on that note. It is 3-3. Angels knotted up with the Astros. A loss really puts the Astros in a bad spot. A loss would really put the Astros in a difficult position. We'll see what happens. Kyle, I'm getting excited for next year too, man. Look, it's going to be fun once the moves really start rolling. It's going to be fun. You know, we're still kind of in a mourning phase right now. At least I am, but I'm getting there. Each day gets a little bit better. Look, there's a lot bigger problems in the world right now than the Rangers not making the playoffs. But look, as a diehard yourself, I think you can relate. Gets a little better each day. I'm looking forward to the offseason. We're going to have a great offseason's worth of shows for you guys, giving you all of the latest news, rumors, hot stove items in Rangers baseball. It's going to be great. And I would hope that you'll join us. We usually go live every Wednesday with some variability depending on what I have going on with all the other plates I have spinning. But I think we did Wednesdays pretty consistently last year for my people that hung out. So come back and hang out. Next week, we will do our first off-season show, and we will do one every week. And we will even do some pop-up shows here and there if the Rangers make a big move too. It's going to be great. All right, y'all. Hey, hopefully we'll get another win tomorrow. Hopefully the Angels can pull out a win tonight. We'll be back in the 8th or 9th inning for the Fox broadcast. Jacob Lath's on the bump tomorrow night. Should be good stuff. Thank you so much for all the comments. I appreciate all you guys. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.